I've read in the New Chronicle, dated August 6, 1999, page 2. I'm concerned about stability in my country. And they're speaking about accommodation.
Okay.
They're saying that the only how the opposition parties can defeat the UWP is to join together. I am concerned about if the Labour Party and the Freedom Party get together, what is going to happen in Dominica? Number one, they're saying that the Freedom Party doesn't have a chance in Granby. If I could just go down the list. They said Soufriere, the Labour Party should take Soufriere. No. They're saying T7 should go to Labour. Soufriere should go to Freedom. Rosa South should go to Labour. Goodwill should go to Freedom. The Valley, your constituency, they don't have a candidate. So you stand a good chance, sir. They're saying the Rosa North should go to Freedom. Maho should go to Freedom. They're saying St. Joe should go to Labour. Salisbury, they doesn't have a candidate. Neither the Labour Party nor the Freedom Party have a candidate for Salisbury. They're saying Collyho should go to Freedom. Portsmouth, Labour. Cottage. Who's saying okay? Cottage should go to Labour. Paybush, Labour. Wesley, Labour. Marigot should go to Freedom. So the Prime Minister, he better look out. And they're saying the Reserve should go to Labour. The Freedom Party newspaper is the Chronicle. It is on page 2, 86. They're saying Castle Bruce should go to Labour and so on. So I'm asking you, what is the chance of UWP? Because they doesn't make any provisions here for UWPs. It seems as if it's a clean sweep.
Okay. You know, I like questions like that. The only thing is I recognize that this is not a political meeting, and I would like to deal with that. I would really like to deal with that. I dealt with that matter. We had a public meeting in Penville just before I left. The only question I ask you, do you believe? Let me just say something. The United Workers' Party came on the scene in 1988. 1988. It contested its first election, and these are facts, matters of facts. It contested the first election in 1990, and it got 6 seats. 6, within 2 years. There was a by-election in the Carib Territory somewhere about 1993. The Freedom Party was in office, the Labour Party was in opposition, and the United Workers' Party was in opposition. And the United Workers' Party won, although the Freedom Party was in government. So the United Workers' Party got 7 seats in 1990, from 6, 1, 7 in 1993. There was the general elections. Everybody thought the Freedom Party would have won, or maybe the Labour Party. And from the opposition in 1990, we got 11 seats. We formed the government. Okay? 11 seats, the bare majority. People say, oh, the government will not last. Just a month, 3 months, hurricane come, as I said. We struggled, we stayed there. Then there was a situation where the Freedom Party had 5 seats and the Labour Party had 5 seats. And the Freedom Party came out in 1980 when they had 17 seats plus 2. General Armour and Conrad Cyrus, who supported them, 19 out of the 21. Remember that. And then the Labour Party had 2, the Carib man and Michael Douglas deceased. And the Freedom Party opposition independence, they formed a party which was, I don't know how it happened, and they prevented Michael Douglas from becoming leader of the opposition. You remember that? Okay. So the government came in with 11 seats. In 1996, Brian Allen got a job as a judge in Grenada, and so he had to leave. At that time, Freedom with 5, Labour with 5. So they had to share, they were about sharing the title of leader of the opposition. They had to share it, rotate it. So I think that it would be good for the Labour Party recognizing that the candidate for the Freedom Party had left, for political strategy for United Workers Party to win, and they become, and Mike and Rosie Douglas become the leader of the opposition. Do nothing, you know, do nothing, let Freedom lose, and you are the leader of the opposition. Because if Freedom win, they would still have to rotate. You understand what I mean? If Freedom Party had won the seat in Maho, they would still have to rotate. But political strategy would tell you that, look, you have to ensure that Freedom lose, and the Labour Party become leader of the opposition, naturally. But that did not happen. Labour Party and Freedom Party, they fought United Workers Party in government. But in opposition in '93, United Workers Party won a seat. And in government, with the two opposition parties, we won the seat in 1996 in Mao. So you see how we're coming up. See how we're coming up. So 12 now. So people that know trends, statistics, if you look at the trends, so from 6, 7, 11, 12, it's an upward trend. Look at the Freedom Party. 17 plus 2, 19 in 1980. 15 in 1985. 11 in 1990. 5 in 1995. 96, 4. And today is 3 because Ozzy is studying law in Barbados. 3. So you see, we are intelligent people. We have to be able to analyze. You know, we cannot, you know, when the Chronicle write that kind of crap, really, you know, I don't think the Chronicle is fooling people in New York, people in thing. The Freedom Party is a party that is going. I must admit, in terms of the people in Dominica, they believe that the Labour Party has a chance. But the Labour Party, the most seats they have ever received was about 5, 6 seats, and they have moved from that. So that is the way by politics, and most of the seats you call out there, within 4 years, they do not have a candidate. They were honest enough to say that there was none in the Roseau Valley and none in Salisbury. But the fact that we will let the people of Dominica be the judge.
Hello. Wait. Could we, let me just say this. I knew, from past experience, I knew I couldn't conclude this meeting before Mr. Jabi had his statement. So now he's had his statement, we are coming to the end of the question period. I'll allow 2 more questions. One from Mrs. Thomas and one from, first Mrs. Thomas, then you. Adrian. Okay.
Good evening. I'm Kathy Thomas of Mocha Productions. We're basically Dominica's media voice here in New York City. And being the voice of things happening in Dominica, we from time to time send information to check upon or to give more light, shed more light on. Recently, we were sent some pictures of the new memorial at the roundabout on Federation Drive. Those of us who remember, there was a beautiful memorial there, a bronze bust based on a marble base of Sir Cecil Rawle. Right. And the image that was sent to us was pretty disturbing. With all due respect, it is a disservice to the memory of Mr. Rawle, and it's also a disservice from the part of most of our viewers to the people of Dominica. It's, besides it being of a foreign feature, I was not able to recognize the name from the photograph that was sent to us, but besides it being a foreign feature, it's also a cement-based type bust, compared to the bronze bust that was based on a marble podium. What was the reason for the change in the statue that was there? And what was the people's reaction in Dominica? Because surprisingly enough, I understand it was changed about a year ago, and we're only now hearing about it. It's very interesting that nothing big was said about it, because there was such a big fuss made over the changes made at the Bayfront and who was responsible, and all the back and forth between the parties of why the changes were made at the Bayfront, and yet not much dust was raised when this statue was changed. So I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy, for your question. I think it's a very important question. Let me say, indeed, in Dominica, it was a very controversial matter, very critical of the government. I'm telling you. Why it was there in the first place? Because the original was vandalized. I think at one point in time, the head was on the roundabout, just sitting there. Then they couldn't find it, and it was vandalized. I do not know whether man-made or by natural means. I don't know, but it was in a bad shape. And there was some people asked the government to get a bus. All right. So the information was collected. That's what I understood, and it was sent to be built. And when it came back in place, everybody said that was a Chinese roll. That's not Mr. Roll. Yeah, and it was very controversial. And as a result, the family made representation, saying, no, that's not my father. I think yeah, that's not my father. That is not my uncle. So the government, we did apologize to the family. And what happened is that we thought that the original was not wrong. And when the controversy stirred up, eventually they found the head showed up. So we are now going to repair it and put the original one. So the foreign one will be removed, and then they will get the original one. That's what happened.
Excuse me. In light of an earlier question regarding the role of the OECS or MAX to CARICOM leaders when they attend the UN Assembly, may I state that this week the UN Secretary, that's Kofi Annan, an interview was aired on Channel 13 where he said that the concern of the UN's of this year's assembly has to do with sovereignty and state intervention, and we recalled NATO's role in Kosovo and people's reaction to lives being taken away, what happened in Rwanda in terms of salvation. May I ask what your address or subject of address will be focused on? Because when we do expect you guys to address the UN, we expect it, I apologize for saying you guys, first of all. May I say that your role or your presentation at the UN, may I say, should be the interest of not only Dominica, but the Caribbean nations on a whole, because may I say that, furthermore, one nation with no economical status, Dominica alone can't stand by itself. So we expect CARICOM, OECS to come as a force. And with that force, we get results. So do you go individually to the UN and present your issue and have St. Lucia do its part? I expect it to be a collective effort on your part and the other Caribbean nations to go with a subject in particular to make sure that the Caribbean nations issues are really taken seriously.
Okay, right.
Especially when you meet with Secretary of State Madeleine Albright as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let me say that Dominica is a sovereign country, and there are special issues concerning Dominica which will be in my statement at the UN. But I also mentioned that in CARICOM, we also try to harmonize our foreign policy. And that was part of the meeting this morning. And I can tell you that one of our concerns in the region is to ensure that the Caribbean Sea a special area, and it should remain that way, as a sustainable special area. And this is one of the points that the Caribbean is pushing, all right, at the UN, and I will be saying something about that in my address. There's also the question of the special needs of small island developing states, their vulnerability, all right, and how globalization and trade liberalization affects small developing states. The question of climate change, the question of nuclear waste, transportation of nuclear waste in the Caribbean. These are concerns of the Caribbean, and I will be saying something about that.
I want to thank the minister for taking your questions. We extended our time beyond the 7 o'clock that I had predicted, partly due to Mr. Jean-Pierre. But we always welcome Mr. Jean-Pierre's interventions in these things. Now we will have some announcements from the Consul General.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I would like to say that there is a group from Dominica who has CDs on sale. Mrs. Simon, sitting at the back with the burgundy dress. She's the one representing the group. The group name is CEGID, C-E-G-I-D, and they're a gospel group from Point Michel. If you would like to patronize that group, the name of the album is called Heal Our Nations. It also has some very lively song in patois. So you can check Mrs. Simon. She's wearing a burgundy dress. Also, I would like to say that, could you just hold on a while, please? Hello. I'd also like to mention that the annual Independence Gala that is held every year by DADA will be held this year on October 17th. That is because they're having an earlier celebration because a lot of Dominicans will be going to Dominica for the Independence reunion. So the reunion will now be, the gala will now be held on October 17th. The fee is $65 per adult and $30 for children. By way of announcement by the consulate, I would just like to say that those of you who are here, I am assuming that you got a letter from us, so your name must be on our list. Or probably some of you, well, I'm coming to it, some of you, your name may not be on our mailing list, and we have started a drive at the consulate to ensure that we have as many Dominicans as possible on the mailing list so that they know what is happening on days like today. If you're not on the mailing list and if you did not listen to the radio, if another Dominican did not tell you, you would not know. So please ensure that your name is on our mailing list. Our telephone number, I will tell it to you, it is 212-599-8478. 212-599-8478. Also, our address is 800 2nd Avenue. 800 2nd Avenue, Suite 400H. That is New York, New York, and the zip is 10017. We also have forms at the back available right now. So those of you who are not on the mailing list, you can go at the back, and when you go and take your food or your refreshment at the back, you fill up the form and put in your name so that you will be on the mailing list, and spread the word along. If you are already on the mailing list, you can take a form and give it to a friend or family wherever they are in the United States, not just New York or Jersey or Connecticut. So be sure that you spread the word along. I also want to mention that the consulate, we have started a drive whereby we want to form an umbrella organization of all the groups, like one association to represent the interests of all the groups. And we have had our first exploratory meeting sometime last month with various members of the community, various members of the groups. And we have persons interested not only from New York, Jersey, Connecticut, but we have persons as far as Chicago, Florida, and various Texas and so on, LA. So we want to kind of coordinate and get the people together. So I would like, as your Consul General, I would like to welcome and invite you to send us ideas or any information, anything you want to share with us. Feel free to share it if you're consulate. Call us, write us, let us hear from you. Okay, thank you very much.
Before I ask Ms. Theodore for a vote of thanks, I want to say that there are copies of the Voice newspaper here, and you can have a copy, but only after these proceedings are over. Now I'll ask Ms. Theodore, Vice Consul, to give a vote of thanks.
Okay, we have one more announcement to make. Oh, well, as you heard earlier, the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs will address the United Nations General Assembly on Friday, October 1. He's going to be the 9th speaker, so his address will be about 4:30 in the afternoon. Those of you who wish to listen to the address, we have a list at the back. We kindly ask that you enter your name so we can get ground passes for you to enter the General Assembly Hall to listen to his address. And now we just want to acknowledge a few people who made it possible for us to have the meeting here this afternoon. First, we are very grateful to the management of Medgar Evers College for the use of the facilities here. We also want to thank Ms. Elizabeth Adrian for having the meeting here. She has proven herself to be a very good friend to the consulate. And for this, we are very, very grateful. She was very instrumental, well, at very short notice in us getting this place. We also want to thank Mr. Zed Lloyd. Well, he's not here today, but he also was very instrumental in getting our notices aired on WLIB radio. We also want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Thomas for all their efforts, and Cora Ann for all her hard work. And of course, last but by no means least, we want to thank you, the audience, for coming. For a while this afternoon, well, when I came in here, I thought that we were not going to have a meeting, but we are very grateful that you came along. And as usual, we appreciate your participation. Thank you very much. And now, Mrs. Thomas from Mocha Production would like to make an announcement, please. Thank you.
Hello once again. Part of Mocha Productions is Mocha Designs. We're based here in New York City, we're actually located on Broadway. And one of the main things that we focus on is promoting the traditional way of the Caribbean, especially Dominica, throughout the world. We're proud to announce that last Friday on the 17th, it was the first time that Dominica's traditional wear and other traditional wear from the Caribbean was represented at a major international fashion show, which was held at the Marriott Hotel. We designed and made the wobduyettes and other Caribbean traditional wear that was shown, and it got tremendous response from the audience based on the fact that it was, the name of the show was the African Mosaic. There were African designers or African diaspora designers from throughout the world, but it was the first time that even some of the designers and a historian who was there, who has been chronicling the influence of African design in Western design, it was the first time that they had seen the wobduyet. And I have to say, the girls who wore them very well. They made me feel proud to see them. And we had a global representation wearing the dresses. Unfortunately, we did not have a Dominican model. It was not by my choice, but it was part of a greater organization. So the models were picked based on, the representation they wanted. Wobduyettes were worn by an international model from Germany, from Ireland, from Japan, one from, she's American but of West Indian parents, and a little girl from Barbados. And it was really a proud moment for me to know that I was able to bring Dominica especially to the world.
Before I declare the meeting closed, you've heard of the name of Cora Ann. That was a young lady who led us in the singing of the national anthem. And I want, for those of you who do not know, she is the secretary at the Mission Consulate, and she does some very good work for us. The meeting is now closed. There's some refreshments which we invite you to partake of at the back, and we're very happy to have had you here this afternoon. Thank you very much.